20 years ago, on 21st April 1999, a weary teenage Afghan boy, having dared to travel for many months through many foreign lands, with a small rucksack, his only luggage hanging from his shoulder, he arrived to the United Kingdom. In his broken English, he sought asylum in one of the world's oldest democracies. Having fled the persecution and brutality of a closed Taliban regime, under which citizens were denied even basic rights, like education, let alone the right to vote, he endeavored to learn, experience, and cherish democratic values such as tolerance, freedom of mind, freedom of choice. Despite the hardship of exile, the contrast between closed and open governments made him determined to strive for future change in his homeland. Within a few years, he graduated top of his class in civil engineering and was also awarded a Master of Science degree from the renowned Imperial College of London. Ladies and gentlemen, today, thanks to OGP, he stands before you as the youngest minister of the Afghan government's cabinet. Thank you. I returned to Afghanistan in 2012 and found a newborn democracy that was actually allowing freedom of press, a vibrant civil society, in a very complex and dynamic political climate. I joined the Ministry of Public Works to advise and support the establishment of the country's first railway authority, an institution that's now an active member of the International Union of Railways. In 2014, when President Ghani took office, he entrusted me to reform the government's procurement system, a hotbed of corruption and mafia at the time. Within less than 6 months, with a great team of young Afghans, we established the country's National Procurement Authority. And I had the honor to serve as its Director General for almost 3 years. Along the journey to implement key reforms, we faced monumental obstacles. These included death threats by the well-organized mafia networks, resistance to change by the corrupt civil servants, a culture of complacency and tolerance of corruption, political resistance, and backlash, just to name a few. Despite of these challenges, we managed to open up public procurement to the public. We saved hundreds of millions of dollars in public money. We blacklisted more than 100 fraudulent companies belonging to the mafia. We rolled out the basis for beneficial ownership register. In recognition of our efforts, our president awarded me a State Medal of Honor. However, this was just the start, and there was a lot left to do and a long road ahead. In 2017, I was appointed as the Minister of Public Works, a government entity marred with corruption and dysfunction to an extent where it had never spent above 50% of its allocated budget. With the right strategy, political will, and more importantly, partnership with the civil society, we managed to spend nearly 98% of the ministry's budget for the first time in 17 years. Our strategy led to the biggest institutional reform in recent history of our country, where 5 entities working in transport, namely railways, roads, aviation, land transport, and traffic, were merged under the new single umbrella called the Ministry of Transport. I have the honor to lead and serve this organization. Unfortunately, on 24th of December, 2018, the sworn enemies of the humanity attacked our ministry and murdered more than 40 of our colleagues and injured 32 more. We all cherish and practice democracy for obvious reasons. However, there are cracks through which the voices of citizens are drowned without reaching the ears of those of us in power. OGP facilitated an impactful dialogue and cooperation between civil society and the government. OGP is the global oasis for the reformist community from all sides. It brings us together. It narrows the gap between the people and their governments. It allows us to learn from each other, grow stronger, and not be alone in our journey towards a more transparent and a better future for next generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Minister, for those reflections. It shows to us that the fight for open government is often a real fight where lives are at stake, where so much is at stake. Thank you so much for sharing those reflections.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.